Yo, hey guys, it's Beast, back with some more beastly content, and today we are going to be doing a guide over how to survive the frigid cold from the very first day of Phase 1. So, we are joining into a server that's a little bit, older, but we're going to be jumping into this right away, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a reason for why you might want to do Onyx Tundra. The reason why you might actually want to do Onyx Tundra is because one of the spawn points will actually spawn you right next to seawater. Now, seawater is used to get salt, and with salt and Spikematos, you will actually be able to go ahead and get yourself some salty Spikematos right off the bat, as well as some Heatium. That's really the first thing you need to worry about. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. We're going to start at Camp Igloo for the sake of it. And out the door we go. Here we are, Camp Igloo. We're going to go ahead and aim for the salt water over here. If you didn't know, you can actually spam your A and D key while holding the S and get just a slight bit of a speed boost while gliding. You'll glide a little bit farther. But I will see you when we actually get to the seawater. So yeah, see you in a minute. Alrighty, and as you can see here, seawater has been obtained. All we have to do now is walk up to the water and get close enough to it to where it will say collect water. Start collecting water, and bada bing, bada boom. Seawater plus 15, plus 30, plus 45, plus 60, and so on, and so on. So, another thing I'm going to want to do here is actually get connected with my main here, because this is my alt. But we are going to go ahead and be doing just the preps on my alt here. And I do believe there might be some salty Spikematos in this area too. I could be wrong here. This may not have any salty Spikematos. We might have to go somewhere else for that. But we did go ahead and get our salt solved right off the bat, which was very, very important to me on my alt here. Now, the other thing is I brought in an advanced chainsaw and an advanced drill just so that we can instantly get to mining and get started on getting leveled up here. That is the other thing. We do have our Spikemato, but we're going to need some gravel. We're going to need some trees because we're going to need to make ourselves the Heatium, and then we just need to get ourselves a quick tier 1 set of gear made up. Alrighty, so the other thing I'm going to go ahead and do since we're starting here is just get some bear skin. That's going to be what we make our chest piece and our armor with when it comes to the leather. We're probably actually just going to use the reindeer fur and the bear skin. Just, whatever animals we kind of come across. Your tier 1 gear, you just need to be perking cold resist on it. You don't really have to worry about getting the best resources for your tier 1. Your tier 3 is going to be what's going to be carrying you for a good portion of the game. So it is the point where you're going to be wanting to get things like velvet farmed up or something like that. We will be getting on into velvet in the future, and I will be showing you exactly where to farm velvet. Super duper easy in this game. But as you can see here, we have about the resources we need. We're going to go ahead and slap our territory right here. For some reason, there it is. Okay, so I don't know why it went over here, but we are in our territory now, and I think it's going to be asking us to build one of these first, so we're going to go ahead and get this going on. You're just going to go through like the basic beginning stuff here. This is just going to ask you to like build a disassembly bench, which I do believe is copper ingots still. So we also need to unlock the furnace here. So go ahead and unlock the furnace. Open that back up. There we go. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and place down a furnace. We can go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that we have the furnace, we're just going to go ahead and start with getting our charcoal made up. Now the next thing we're actually going to need to be made in our base is going to be the primary supplies bench. So let's go ahead and also unlock the mimetic for that. And it does look like we're still low on logs. Once again, I'm not actually seeing many trees in the area. I was just gathering logs off of the ground in order to actually get logs. There's some logs. Oh yeah, 10 logs. Oh yeah, more mint. I need more logs. See you in a second. Alrighty, so now that we have the supplies bench unlocked, we're actually going to unlock this first tab here called the Polar Expedition. Well, as soon as we get leveled up to actually do that. So, in order to level up real quickly, I'm just going to go through and mine some resources. I'm not actually seeing anything really good on XP gains. Sulfur's giving how much XP? Let's let it load for a second. Maybe we'll get to see here. 10 ore once again. Yeah, we're just gonna hit some ores until we're level 3, hopefully get some more upgrade points, and we're gonna go ahead and get the unlock for Heatium. Alright, and just another quick little note here, we did end up finding some salty Spikematos right here at this spawn point we just chose at the beginning of the video. So just so you know, you can get everything made here. You can get your salty Spikematos and your Heatium made up all right here. That's all you're really gonna need to have survivability of all the way up into what is Wishland. And Wishland is actually going to be where we're going to be farming the velvet. But we have hit level 3, so let's go ahead and get back into our supply bench now as soon as we just go ahead and unlock this. So that is going to allow us to do the polar expedition. The next thing we actually want to do is unlock the stove here, and then we're going to unlock dishes 1, and I'm thinking it's going to be 3 and then 3. So we need 6 more mimetic points, but we can go ahead and make our Heatium here real quickly. So we'll start by making thermium. That's just gravel. Heatium requires charcoal to be made. We started smelting our charcoal earlier. Let's go ahead and collect some of that, and we can go ahead and just smelt whatever of the copper that we do have there. So the next thing is find a suitable, so it's telling us to set up a campsite, so let's just go ahead and place one down. We need to gather some logs for that real quickly and try and get a campsite placement down anywhere. There we go. Now it's telling us to go ahead and craft a torch. So we're just going to run through, you know, just the basic little story portions of this. So we're going to go ahead and make, it's trying to make me make that, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and make the torch, and we'll go ahead and equip it. That will help you. It will actually give you just a little bit more cold resist when you just have it out. It is worth having out, but it's not really worth it using in order to craft cold resistant gear. So let's go ahead and alrighty, so real quickly, we're just going to go ahead and throw ourselves together some deer hide. Ooh, is deer hide the right one? Yeah, deer hide. So we're just going to go throw ourselves together some of the cheapest armor we can make, just stuff from the survival tent, so that we can get on to the next part. You are going to want to do this. We're actually just going to be making the pants and the shirt here. We're not going to worry with anything else there. We do also have ourselves a pistol, and we have ourselves a you know, the basic melee weapon they allow you to start with. So now it's just telling us to summon V. I actually think this one might actually have to run through story and everything. So this is a guide for new players. So let's go. Alrighty, so it's recommending us to go to this outpost here, or at least this is our story mission. This is going to be 240 XP. We're going to go ahead and start hitting any of these little buildings here. So any of these objectives here, like over here's a great one. There's a whole bunch of these areas here. This is where all your tier 1 gear is going to be. So this is where you're going to get up your full tier 1 gear set. And once you have a full tier 1 gear set, you're going to be making your way over here, which we will be doing in just a little bit, but we still have to unlock the garage so that we can actually drive and things like that. So without further ado, we're going to head to this abandoned hideout first, and then we're going to be heading to the snow and fire. And in order to do that, I want to head back to my campsite and just real quickly see if we can't throw ourselves together some sort of garage. Alrighty, and we have just legged it to this first little area we did mark on screen. All the enemies here are pretty low level, so we should be able to handle these no problem, even with just the starter crap that it gives you. We're mainly here for the loot. Like I said, you technically don't even need to be fighting these guys, and you could just be using your melee weapon, but I kind of wanted to play with that pistol anyway, because I know I'm not going to be using it for very long. Here we go, boom, there's one of the takedowns for like a season goal or something. But we're just here to, you know, gather the loot real quickly, and look, another takedown, boom, look at that. I am just a professional at takedowns, I'm telling you what. Take the power of the torch. So like I said, there's storage crates in here, and this is going to be giving you all sorts of other materials. This will just be the materials that you're going to be needing to get your gear crafted to tier 1 and to get yourselves a garage unlocked so that you're actually going to be able to drive to places, because right now we are just going to be walking to that first outpost that it's requiring us to go to. As this account is pretty close to being new, and while it is an alt account, I am wanting to show you the progression progress of a new player, trying to get both prepared for the heat and prepared for the cold and surviving the cold, as well as, you know, getting everything unlocked and doing it all as a new player. So now that we've looted this little area here, I think we've gotten all the loot out of it. We are going to be legging it now, and we are mining any aluminum ores we see, and we are mining any tungsten ores we see, as aluminum ores are worth 25 XP each and tungsten ores are worth 50 XP each. So it's going to be really easy XP gains while we are having to walk to this next little objective area, gather loot, and get our tier 1 stuff gathered up. So I'll see you when we get to the objective area. Just some things to keep in mind. Alrighty, so the next thing it's actually telling us to do is to go to Camp Igloo. Now, the starting area I showed you earlier, that is just a great starting area for beginners, is actually where our base is at. So we're going to teleport back to base real quickly. This will give us a little bit of an advantage, and we'll be able to leg it to Camp Igloo super duper quickly, no problem. So I'll see you when we're at Camp Igloo. Alrighty, so here we are at Camp Igloo. One of the main things I want to go ahead and mention to you, especially if you're watching this as a new player, as I am assuming you are, if you're dying to the cold and wanting to know how to prepare for it, you want to be unlocking the teleport towers every single time you get to one of these. Now, there are going to be more of these. As you can see, here's Whalebone, here's Bear Den, and then there's 2 more in the area that's going to unlock in Phase 2. But all of these you want to be unlocking the teleport tower for. But as you can see here, we are here. We're just going to go through some more talking quests, or we'll get on into the next part in just a minute. Alrighty, so as we have finished that, we have actually unlocked the very next part of this. So log 100 times, super easy. Disassemble scrap, super easy. Build foundations, super easy. Smelt ores, super easy. And gather any ore 100 times, super duper easy, guys. So we don't have our tier 1 crafted or anything, but we do have a Heatium and we do have a torch. So let's see what our next plan of action is actually going to be. So since we're needing to head back, really it's just worth it to teleport back to teleport, but we can't. So I guess I really don't want to do any of that. So what are the current tasks? Log, gather ores. So we should be able to log and gather ores just outside of Camp Igloo, so I'm going to go ahead and get the logging and gathering ores out of the way. Alrighty, now one other thing I want to mention is the key ore that we're actually gathering here is going to be copper, just because we also have the ingot smelting quest, which is going to take place in base. So we're going to be gathering the copper ores so that we have plenty of that. We're also getting gravel out of this, and of course logging. There's trees right just outside of Ice House, so yeah. Alrighty, so ore gathering is done. However, we do still have a couple minutes till we can return to territory. We've already done the abandoned hideout. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't go ahead and get to the ranch now. Alrighty, so we actually did end up going all the way to the Woodland Ranch. I'm thinking we're probably like a minute past being able to teleport back to base, but I figured I might as well go to Woodland Ranch and go ahead and get my tier 1 gears materials farmed up, as this place should be a pretty decent area to actually get materials and such farmed up pretty easily. Not to mention, you know, there is just a little bit of XP in the enemies here, but there's also a good amount of loot in this place for tier 1 loot. This should get you all the materials you're going to need to make a full tier 1 set, which is then going to allow you to go ahead and get on into your Wishland farms. Another nice little trick here is if you ever have a death like this and you haven't done this before, if you hit event, regular event, and astral dwelts, you can actually go ahead and buy yourselves an adrenaline shot, revive yourselves, and keep on running here. Once again, I wouldn't recommend doing this so over encumbered, but since we gathered all those materials, we kind of set ourselves up for that. So let's go ahead and collect something from this storage crate. I'm not quite sure on how long or how much loot we're actually going to be able to recover from this area before having to return to base due to our health and everything like that. Oh, yep, that's the end. So we're going to go ahead and head back to base now, get some stuff crafted up, get our tier 1 gear going on, and get a tier 1 gun going on so that we can have just a little bit better of a time. Let's go. And here we are. So first things first, let's go ahead and see just how many ingots we can make. So not that many. We're going to go ahead and make 2 stacks of charcoal. That's going to be used to make our ingots. And then we're going to head on over into what is going to be the disassembly bench, I do believe. And I've unlocked the mechanic. There we go. So we can go ahead and build this. We're going to have to build a disassembly bench now. This is a key step in getting things done here. We're going to go ahead and select all on this. Now, I think we've already unlocked the stove pneumatic, so let's just go ahead and get one of these placed down. We need 17 more charcoal. So the good thing is we have 26 here. So there we go. We now definitely have enough for the stove. We're going to go ahead and build the stove now. The reason why we're building the stove, like I said, was because we're working on that whole dish situation. So let's go back to crafting. I think it's actually in the logistics tab. So air drying, we're going to have to unlock that to get to the next one. Dishes 2 will actually unlock the salty Spikemato. Once again, this is my go-to starting item. And as you can see here, we are going to have to make ourselves some salt here in order to actually be making these. But this is my go-to starting item for cold resist, because this will give you an additional 10 cold resist on top of your Heatium. So let's go ahead and get one of those made up, and then we're just going to go ahead and finish it off with all the salt we can make. That's why we gathered the seawater. That's why we're right by this seawater area here, so we can get some salt gathered up and some salty Spikematos crafted so that we can actually use them and, you know, have a decent little time here. Now, as you can see here, just one. I think I want to put all of them that I can in here, but we're just going to be making one for now on that. And we should have plenty of charcoal to go ahead and start a 77 of copper. And I'm thinking it was only 50 ingots we needed to smelt, and it didn't do it right there. So we'll do that. Try that again. Bam! There we go. So the copper is now smelting. What are our other tasks real quickly? We are trying to finish off the commissions. Disassemble 60 pieces of scrap at the disassembly bench. Might have to wait. Building structures, though, is super duper easy. So we're just going to go ahead and spam those out real quickly. Here we go. You can see there, well, bam, level 8, just like that. Some more mimetic points to be found there. And let's check on the other commissions now. That should be really easy. Just disassembly bench, and we're waiting on the smelting. So now we can actually go ahead and begin on the next part of our adventure. That's going to be unlocking the garage so that we can actually travel places. This only costs 1 point, and there's no prerequisites, so you just need 1 mimetic point. So go ahead and get this unlocked as quickly as possible. I'm not actually sure we can even get this to place on the ground. I've never been able to. So bada bing, bada boom, our motorcycle bench has been made. We are going to go ahead and go through all of these different parts here. Why is it showing it like it's already made or something? You know, that is so strange, because I don't know why that is. Usually you have to craft the motorcycle. For some reason, the motorcycle started already crafted on my alt. I'm not sure if that's like a... I don't know, that's really weird. Regardless, we have our motorcycle now, and it does have full gas. That's even stranger. Regardless, we do have our motorcycle now, and we don't have our tier 1 gear made up yet, so we're just going to go ahead and check in on the actual primary gear bench now, and it's just going to need those ingots that we are currently smelting up. We're going to go ahead and unlock the primary gear bench just so that we are now going to be able to actually craft any gear. And now that we've actually unlocked that, we're going to go ahead and check on our furnace and see how our copper ingots are looking. 26 of them. We do have enough to go ahead and build our gear bench here, so let's go ahead and build our primary supplies gear bench here. Bam, it should be built. Where's it at? There it is. Okay, so built the gear bench. Let's go ahead and make ourselves our blackstone set. So in order to make it, we're going to need more copper ingots, it looks like, and copper ingots it's all. Then this is going to be either stardust source, or stardust source. Okay, so one other thing I want to check on is I don't have any. Wow, that really sucks. So we need stardust source of some. Alrighty, so being that this account is an account that has played through a couple seasons, we should have some stardust source and transfer here. I don't really want to do all of that though, so we're gonna go with more like, we'll start with a nice 300, and I know that's a lot of points, but that's okay. So there is, like, that was like probably 600 points, honestly. Regardless, we should be able to craft all our armor now. So we're gonna go ahead and make a full tier 1 set as soon as we get our copper made up here. We're going to get a full tier 1 set going on, and then we're going to go challenge Wishland. Alrighty, so we do have our gear set made, we have our weapon made, but we actually need to head over to crafting now and just go ahead and unlock ammunition 1. This is another key thing to do in order to actually be able to make your ammo. Now, in order to make some ammo, we're firstly just going to see how we're looking. We only have 1 gunpowder, so 180 bullets, probably not going to cut it. So we're going to inherit resources, hope we have some gunpowder on the alt here. That'd be wild if we didn't. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and inherit we're going to start with, we don't want to inherit a bunch, but gunpowder is the cheapest way of bringing ammo over, because all you need is the ingots, and ingots are so easy to get, and it's a lot cheaper than bringing over the bullets themselves. So we're just going to go ahead and slap together, you know, about 900 ammo, and then we're going to head to Ice House, complete the quest there, and then we're going to be making our way to Wishland, where we're going to get our velvet farmed up. Alrighty, so as you can see here, the next quest it wants us to do is going to Mooseville. We're going to be aiming for about here, though. We're not doing anything near that. We're going to just go ahead and make our way to Wishland. This is where we're going to be getting our velvet farmed up. The next thing after that, of course, is just going to be getting the materials farmed up for your tier 3. You can continue to run through story as a first-time player, but just do know the next thing I'm going to be covered can be done after you get to story, you know, to where you're actually at Wishland, or you can just do like me and head directly from Ice House Camp directly to a teleport tower just behind Wishland and unlock yourselves a very, very easy velvet farm and a very easy crocodile hide farm, being the two key best solutions for cold resist and heat resist in the game, all unlockable just outside of Ice House at the Wishland amusement park. So without further ado, I will see you at the tower. Let's go. And here we are at the tower. This is the teleport tower I always want to unlock almost very first, and honestly I think this is the second one I've unlocked on this account. So the reason why we unlocked this tower is because it is a direct shot into Wishland East, but not only that, it's a direct shot into the Velvet Farm area. So in order to actually farm Velvet, you're going to need to kill flamingos in Wishland. Now, in a certain section of Wishland, there are a ton of flamingos that spawn there, and we're going to see that in just a second once we get there. Alrighty, and here we are at Wishland. We are going to go ahead and start gathering materials from here. Wishland is a great source for electronic parts as well as rubber. We are going to go ahead and just loot the containers we have here just directly by the Velvet Farm. But for the most part, I'm going to just show you how to run the Velvet Farm over and over and over without worrying about doing any of the rest of the farm yet. You can come back and do the, and we're going to switch over to our melee because it's just, well, we have a kill gun here. Here we go. So you're just going to be killing the flamingos. As you can see here, right here on this stage, there's going to be a ton of flamingos to spawn, and they will actually continue to spawn if you rush to get here. There's actually a chance for them to just continue to spawn here. And sometimes they get in like this weird dazed effect where they're already dead, but they're kind of standing there, so you're skinning them alive. So once again, it's a little bit of a flamingo genocide. There's another type of like hide people like to collect called seal hide. However, they seem to move the location often for where the seal hide is, and not to mention velvet is actually just the best cold resist gear hide that you can make. Now, in order to actually make this, you're gonna have to unlock something in your crafting tab, being the leather working section. Alrighty, so we are just going to go ahead and make this little back exit way out of here. Over there was where the stage was, but we're going to go ahead and make this back little exit way here, and we're going to go back to the teleport tower, and then directly after going back to the teleport tower, we're just going to head right back to Wishland, switch worlds, and go ahead and kill the flamingo. Again, you're going to need 6 pieces of velvet. That is 5 feathers a piece. That is going to mean you're going to need about 30 feathers in total in order to make a chest piece and a pants piece of gear that is going to be able to work for this. So as you can see here, we're right back on that road we just jumped down from, and I'll see you when we're at the tower. Let's go. Alrighty, so back at the tower now, we're just going to quickly do a world switch, and we're going to head right back to Wishland, killing those same flamingos, and you're just going to repeat this until you have enough feathers gathered for the velvet that you want. Then you're going to get on into the next thing, and another thing I want to quickly note on is now is a perfect time to go ahead and complete your Wishland run. Go ahead and get the rift anchors, go through and loot all the chests in both sides of Wishland, then we can get on into the next part. And now if you want to, you can go ahead and continue to follow story and get that story XP and such like that. Alrighty guys, and here we are back at the crafting bench here for the armor. And one thing I want to finally mention real quickly is Frostforge is actually the area you need to be going for most of your tier 3 gear. However, you can also do Hive Rail. Now, as this is an alt account and slash semi-returning account, the only thing is my alt account, every time I do like a loot run, I just throw them in my main storage. So I didn't actually get many gears in Eternal Land to transfer over, so I'm just over here on my main space. Now, we're going to go ahead and make that armor. Like I said, I showed you how to go ahead and farm up the velvet and get your velvet ready so you can have the best cold resist in the game. For the materials, you're just going to have to go run through Frostforge, and you're also going to have to run through Hive Rail. You can also hit both sides of Wishland. If you have to, you might even have to make tier 2 first. But once again, if you're making tier 2, don't be making velvet with that. You want to save your velvet for tier 3 and higher. We have already done the helmet, and we're on to the tops right here. So we're just going to go ahead and get our velvet selected because this is going to be the best cold resist we can possibly get. Aside from, I do believe, like golden wool, I think that's really, really good. But here we go, and once again, this actually requires level 20, and I actually still need to get this account to level 20. So like I said, ways of leveling up would be doing your point of interest like Wishland, etc., and unlocking the point of interest. I have a whole video down below for like low level 0 to 20 farming methods for getting leveled up extremely quickly. So as you can see here, though, we're actually low on materials again. It looks like fireproof plastic. And yeah, it looks like just fireproof plastic. We're going to go ahead and see how we're doing on materials, but I might actually have to wait to finish off the rest of this set. Oh, good, we do have some. Awesome. So luckily we had the fireproof plastic still, so bam. And now we only have 13k points, which is fine. I don't really know what I'm going to use the rest of those for anyway. And now we're going to check. That's tier 3. We didn't make the pants yet, so that's what we're going to get back to now. So let's go back to tier 3, and we're going to go with velvet. Bam. And now we have both pieces of the good cold resist stuff. We just need to actually get to level 20 now. We're also going to be making snow camo gloves at the tier 3. Once again, we're just trying to get everything made up as tier 3s. Boom, super duper easy. We're also going to make sure that before we made those gloves, those are pants, we're going to make sure that we made tier 3 and not tier 2, because the tier 2 option was there. I knew we made tier 2. I think that may have been my velvet too. We might hang on to that. That sucks. Unless it'll give me the proper amount of velvet back, which I know it's not going to be that nice. Nope, it's not going to give any velvet back. So we're actually going to be wearing tier 2 pants on our alt. Do make sure you select tier 3 every single time you're crafting your stuff there. We did just get the gloves made up, I do believe. So now we're going to go ahead and work on the pants, which is going to be needing the carbon fiber fabric. So it does look like the rest of our armor set is actually going to wait until our main actually gets the rest of his stuff farmed up. But I think I am going to go ahead and get out of here. That is how to survive the temperatures. As you can see here on the cook stove, you can just run over to the cook stove, and you can do it on the normal one as well. This is the salty roasted Spikemato. This is the best item for just a quick cold resist in starting out in phase 1 while you're working on tier 1 to tier 3. On phase 2, you're going to want all weather stews, but that'll be a different video. This is just how to survive the cold on phase 1, and this also should just be good for, phase 2 even. The only thing about the all weather stew is gathering the resources, which is just ice melon, mint, Spikematos, as well as sunny ginger. But I do believe this is about the end of the video. Like I said, I am going to go ahead and get out of here. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and keep it beast mode.